You've probably heard of the cash envelope system for personal budgeting, but did you know it can be super helpful for business budgeting too? Yep, I said it. Today, I'm breaking down how to adapt this simple old school method to your business. And spoiler alert, it actually works. Now, if you're a business owner that feels like money is just coming in and going out and you don't know which way is up, this method may be a great option for you. And don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to carry around a stack of actual envelopes in your purse. No. Instead, we are going to go digital with intention. Hi everyone, I am Jamie Trull, your favorite CPA and financial literacy coach, and I am here to bring you all the resources and tools that you need to manage your business and make sure that you are financially fit. If you're not a subscriber yet, why not? Please make sure to hit the subscribe button so you see more content just like this. Now, as always, make sure to stay until the end of the video because you don't want to miss me talking about my favorite tool to help you automate this entire process. But first, let's start with the basics. What am I talking about when I talk about an envelope system for your business? The cash envelope system is all about allocating each dollar you bring in to a specific purpose. I look at it like giving every single dollar in my business a job. Now, you might use something like this in your personal life where a certain amount is for home expenses, a certain amount is for groceries, a certain amount is for gas, etc., etc. And that is actually a really great way to make sure that you are staying within your budgeted means. But in business, those categories are going to be pretty different from what they might look like in your personal life. In business, these may look like things like operating expenses, perhaps taxes, maybe an envelope for reinvesting back into your business, potentially an envelope even for paying yourself. So there's lots of different options for ways you can really take your money and distribute it to where you want it to go and give those dollars a job. Now, if you're not sure how much goes into each of these buckets, that is okay. There are various different methods you can use. So you may have heard of something called ProfitFirst. That's a book by Mike Michalowicz, and he goes into his system for essentially the envelope method of accounting for your business. Or maybe if you've been following me for a while, thank you, you might be doing my profit planning, which is where you're taking your money and splitting it up a little bit differently. My categories differ a bit from the ProfitFirst methodology just because of the things that I like to put my money towards as a small business owner. So that may be what you're doing as well, and this will work for that too. And my favorite thing about this is that you don't run into the issue where you're wondering if you can afford something. So if you're using an envelope system, the way to know if you can afford something is by looking at how much is in that envelope. Again, we're talking about virtual envelopes here. And each of those envelopes basically functions as a little mini checking account that you can use, but only for the intended purpose that you've put it there for. Obviously, there is some discipline involved here. So if you're going to be moving things around when you don't have enough money in a particular account, that kind of defeats the purpose. So part of the goal is to make sure that it's something that you can stick to. Now, I have been using this for budgeting in my business for years. However, I had to do it on a handy dandy spreadsheet. And the reason that I had to do it that way is because at the time, there were not banking platforms that did this. This was something I looked for all over the place when I first started my business. It existed already in the personal banking world, but it wasn't something that had made its way into the business banking world, which shocked me given the fact that business owners are the ones who are really thinking about managing that cash flow or having to pay their own taxes, things like that. And so it seemed to just make sense that a similar methodology would work really well in business. And then one day I found Relay. Now, Relay has been my absolute favorite when it comes to business banking. It is a platform that allows you to open up to 20 different checking accounts and 2 savings accounts that accrue interest. And that has been a game changer for my business. Now, one of the things that I love about Relay is that these are real checking accounts with actual account numbers and routing numbers that you can use for different things. I found that this really helps it to really feel like a true reserve, a true envelope for that specific function, rather than just, moving money around from one pocket to the other. It is truly its own account. So this allows you to set up essentially digital envelopes within Relay for your money. And if you want to know how I set mine up and what accounts I use, you can check out my profit plan system. I have a video going over the entire thing right here, but this is my specific system that allows you to really apportion out your money in a way that makes sense for you, right? You're not the same as everyone else, so why should you be putting the same percentage as everyone else towards different things? It also is the only budgeting plan I've seen that accounts for things like fun and also for giving back and charitable giving to causes that you care about. So definitely go check out my profit plan if you haven't yet. Now, you all know that I love for you to be able to see for yourself what this looks like. So I have jumped into the Relay platform just to show you how easy this is. So if you're wanting to create another envelope and or another reserve, another account in your business, it's as easy as literally clicking on this button, naming it. Let's say we want it to be the rainy day fund. That's one of my profit plan funds. And then you can decide if it's going to be a checking account. Again, you get up to 20, or whether it's going to be a savings account. Okay, so you can choose one of those and then you can hit create account. And here we go. It's done. It's created. And here's what's cool too. You can go ahead and transfer funds in, or you can create auto transfer rules for it. You can instantly create a virtual card. So if you want to have a virtual card, you could actually set limits on spending. Again, if you need to put those guardrails in there so that you don't overspend, this is a great way to do it. Or if you want it for various different team members to have access to just one of these accounts, right? Maybe there's one that they are going to be spending out of. You can do that, or you can even order a physical card. But I'm going to go ahead and do an auto transfer rule. So this is one of my favorite ways to automate this entire process. And again, if you're using ProfitFirst, that's already going to be right here, and you can go ahead and utilize those. However, if you want to create your own or do my profit planning, you can do that as well, and you can call the reserves anything you want them to be called. So let's go ahead. I like this maximum balance rule as well. So this is basically to say, let's say you have a main operating account and you want to have a maximum balance in there, and once it exceeds that balance, you are going to take that money and apportion it to those different reserve accounts. This is actually what I do. Essentially, I keep 1 month's worth of operating expenses, and anything above and beyond there in my account gets allocated to these different accounts routinely. So what I can do is name this weekly auto transfer. And I do Mondays, so I really like the idea of doing this every week on Monday, but you can change this to whatever you want it to be. And then you're gonna say how much you want to keep in the account. So let's say I wanted to keep $5,000 as a base in that account in my operating expenses, and then transfer the excess balance to wherever. So I can put it all somewhere. I can add an account. So maybe I want 50%. To go to my opportunity fund. Maybe I want 30% to go to my rainy day fund, and maybe I want the additional 20% going to my taxes fund. All right, so this is also great too if one of these funds is to pay yourself with. This is a great way to automatically be transferring money in that you can then go in and know exactly how much you can pay yourself because it's what's sitting in the pay yourself account. Now, if you're wondering again what percentages to use, what are the right percentages, my view is that there are no right percentages. You have to figure out what is best for you, what's going to help support your lifestyle, support the goals you have for your business, be able to pay your taxes. That's something to work with a tax accountant on to determine, and to feel adequately like you can save for a rainy day. In my profit planning system, I also have accounts for things like fun, for your future. That might be a 401k or paying down debt, and for impact, which is charitable contributions. So again, you can have any number of those, and you can also make your own. If you want to have an inventory account that you're putting money aside to just be using to reorder inventory, that's a great place to be putting your money. That's a great reserve or envelope account that you can create. And to me, that's the best part of Relay, is how customizable it really is. You can use it however best you want to use it. That's going to work for you and is going to help you really manage the cash flow in your business. It might take a little bit of trial and error to figure out the right percentages, but that's okay. Once you figure that out, then you can kind of set it and forget it. And you don't have to be worried all the time about how much you have to spend on various different things in your business, because you can just log in and it's right there in front of you. And this is a great way to pay off business debt if you're looking to do that, because it is so much easier to just have that money taken off and put into an account specifically related to saving up to pay off your debt. And you barely will even recognize it because it's being done automatically. Now, I know this sounds like a simple system, and that's really the point. It really can help you manage your money better, get a handle on where you are. You could log in and instantly see how much money you have in those various different accounts. And it really just simplifies the decision-making process. And I'm going to tell you, as business owners, anytime we can take a decision off our plates, anytime we can get rid of that decision fatigue, that is a good thing. So if you want to sign up for Relay, of course, I have a special incentive for you. Go over to jamietrull.com/relay. Right now, you can get a $50 bonus for signing up for an account and funding that account. You can find more details and terms on that when you go to jamietrull.com/relay. But I'll tell you, this is the actual business banking platform I use. I don't just affiliate for them. I actually really like them. And that is why I have partnered with them to bring Relay to you and get a special bonus for signing up with my partnership link. If this was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe or leave a comment below if you have a question. And again, go check out more about Relay at the link below. Plus, if you're wanting to dive even deeper into Relay and what all the things that it can do are, definitely check out this full tutorial that I did that I have linked right here on your screen. I'll see you next time.